defined under the California Uniform Controlled Substance Act as a fiber or seed oil crop. And it requires a sample of industrial hemp to be collected for THC testing, so it needs to test under that 0.3%. And it requires established research institutions to provide GPS coordinates to the county ag commissioner. Now, the 2018 Farm Bill, it was passed by Congress and then signed by the President, and it removed industrial hemp from the Controlled Substance Act at the federal level. So, therefore, hemp is now considered an agricultural commodity. And it makes hemp producers eligible for federal crop insurance, grants, and for loans. And the Farm Bill allows the state to limit production and the sale of industrial hemp, but they're not allowed to limit the transportation of industrial hemp through state lines. And the 2018 Farm Bill also authorized the state to create the regulatory plan, so like a pilot program or a program within the state. And one of the things that must be included are records and descriptions of where the crop is going to be grown, the procedures for testing, ensuring that the THC content is less than the desired, and procedures for disposal. So growing hemp in Imperial County, so all growers of industrial hemp, they have to comply with federal, state, and with local laws and regulations. So our ordinance allows industrial hemp cultivation, but they need to be registered with our office, okay? Food and Ag Code also allows it, but again, growers have to be registered with our office. But registration is not available. Therefore, cultivation is not allowed. Now, the California Department of Food and Agriculture have filed their regulations for registration with the Office of Administrative Law, and the OAL has 30 working days to approve or deny, so their deadline is April 3rd, okay? So the regulations would establish the $900 registration fee per applicant, and the registration would be valid for 1 year. So for growers, fields will need to have adequate signage indicating that it's industrial hemp, and this includes established research institutions. 30 days prior to harvest, they need to contact our office, letting us know that they're going to get ready to harvest so that we can go out and sample and make sure that we receive the lab test in time and ensure that it is under the 0.3% THC content. So industrial hemp products. Industrial hemp can be used with over 50,000 different uses. So this is a graph that has been shared with us. Hemp seed could go for hemp beef, shell, hemp oil, hemp cake. The stalks could go for fiber or for hemp hurd. So this shows a little bit of what industrial hemp, the crop, can produce. So what do we know about hemp? Not much, okay? So we really need research because it is a relatively new crop here in California. We don't know how it'll react here in Imperial Valley, particularly to our weather, to our soil, or even to the pests that are here present. If you guys have any questions, you can contact the Ag Commissioner's office. That's our phone number. You can also email me with some of your questions. We are compiling a list of interested people that are growing, that want to grow, and if you want to receive updates regarding the registration or anything else that CDFA has, you can certainly email me and I'll be glad to add you to our contact list, okay? And that's all I have.
Thank you. And now I'm going to introduce Sledden Morgan. He is the co-founder of Brimonia.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Garcia and Sandra. Get situated here. Okay, as Dr. Garcia said, I'm here on behalf of Primordia Inc., which is a company, a startup company that I co-founded with partners that is endeavoring into industrial hemp production and processing. I'm a local farmer, citizen in Imperial Valley, born and raised in Raleigh, and we're exploring this interesting new industry. We here approached IVC to discuss what is a mutually beneficial working relationship to help understand the industry and provide context to the work and employment opportunities that this industry we hope will bring to the Imperial Valley. Let me tell you briefly a bit about Primordia. As I mentioned, we are endeavoring into the hemp space. We are evaluating, engaging in the farming and processing on multiple levels, including CBD, hemp flower, for CBD production, seed, oil derivatives, textiles, and many of the other applications that Sanja mentioned. Now, the CBD market, as many of you heard, is really kind of the buzz out there, and I'd like to talk a little bit about that and what opportunities we think it will bring to the Imperial Valley. Due to recent medical research and a growing demand for alternative medicines, CBD is surged as a new product used to combat anxiety, cognition, movement disorders, epilepsy, and pain. According to the Brightfield report, CBD market will reach sales of $22 billion by 2022, surging from $591 million in 2018. There's been local stories published in LA Times and neighboring states about the effects the CBD market has had on the unemployment rate. There's truly an economic reason to explore this crop and the industry that surrounds it, and we want to engage in the discussion of this opportunity with the community and with the IVC as a community leader. So, as I mentioned, the Imperial Valley, I think, has a lot to gain from this, but it has some serious advantages to establish a foothold here in this industry. Low cost of power, low cost of agricultural inputs, the agricultural sophistication that Imperial Valley has, being a ag area, location of markets with huge populations in Southern California, and California being one of the largest markets in the world. Wide seasonal production windows and rotational crop synergy. The weather that Imperial has is actually quite ideal for hemp production. So, we can see why Imperial Valley has strategic value for crop production in the industry, but really, why we're here and why we've approached IVC is to not only talk about how the industry can influence the Imperial Valley, but how it's supported by the Imperial Valley. It's a two-way street, and we think that that in order to build an industry as substantial as this one can be, it's going to rely heavily on an understanding on an employment level and on an infrastructure level of the applications required to make it work. I'll try to be clear here. The industry can only survive with the people that are involved in it, from the ground level up. And the IVC, being a community leader, being a community college, and one that Dr. Garcia mentioned is vocational in nature, is really necessary to build this industry out in the long run. What we'd like to do is provide an opportunity for work experience for for a working relationship that the IVC can use to build the understanding and to benefit the students through education and for opportunities after education. So we want this engagement to be synergistic. The amount of jobs that this industry can create is immense and will range widely. You know, we're not talking about just agriculture here and farm jobs. We're talking about technicians, administrators, quality control experts, clerical and communication focused careers. This is an opportunity to start with a clean canvas in an industry that is truly emerging and to build an understanding as a community to build it. We think that employing students and training them in the skills required to participate in the industry will also make the school more attractive for growth and for more applications to the school. The students are by far the most important part of this. Really, the industry won't survive without the backing, without the foundation of the workforce and of the community. And we want these to be local. This is truly a local endeavor that we want to stay integrated in, from farming through facility and factory. So we think this needs to start early. We look 5 to 10 years out and beyond. We need to really understand how to build an industry with the local citizens. So Primordia, what we're really talking about here is engaging in the agronomic and economic research as a company and involving the IVC to participate with work experience and to build the soft and hard skills necessary through engaging in data collection and operational know-how and what we are doing as a company.